How you doing, guys? Professor EDC with another, not bladosophy, but another video. And this time around, like I promised, I said I would be uploading more videos for my English speaking community. And so I wanted to take advantage of a video that BigRedEDC just uploaded, I think, yesterday. And I thought it was a fantastic topic. And so if you don't know BigRedEDC, go on over and subscribe. Take a look at him. He's a great guy and uploads great content. Anyways, the topic is, what makes it a grail? And man, I love that question because it's taken years in my case, as in the case of many of you. But for those new, just entering this knife-related world, it is something that we talk about very, very often, and you might be confused as to what is a grail. And I think Big Red described it pretty well in matters of the cost and the availability. But I'd like to share with you a bit my quest for my grails. And here is my peak right now. This is my peak when I began collecting. This has been a long road. I started with axes because I learned from a logger how to trim and how to cut down trees in Spain for a brief period of time in my life. Lumberjack, I think, is a better word. And so my love with edges started with axes. Long before that, I had a buck 110 or 112, and I used that thing when I was a teenager or young, and I loved that thing. But you know, it never it was just a tool and nothing more. And then I really fell in love with axes, and this is something that for my Spanish viewers already know, but I'd like to share with you, so bear with me. So I spent a season in Spain, and to survive I had to work in different things, and I became the assistant of a lumberjack, and well, he taught me the trade, you know. And I fell in love with axes, and I still haven't been able to, you know, get an Ultaforce or a Grand Force Brooks forest axe, small forest axe, which is or the hand hatchet, because they're just too expensive, and to get to Mexico, it's a grail. It's a grail, exactly. So. And that's something I also want to talk about. But anyways, let's go step by step. When I got into the world of blades, started off with axes and then went on to... and axes was a big thing for a long time, and still is, because I love making wood for a fireplace. And from there, because of my job, I ended up using machetes and then fixed blades. And so fell in love with fixed blades. I have a small collection. And from there, of course, I ended up with folders. And after, you know, long time, I've been here for a long time. I think I was around when Metal Complex was around 400 subscribers, and Shabazz was around, I don't know, 10,000, I think, that I was watching him. And well, that'll give you an idea. And from there, the knives, of course, I started learning about folders and all, but the knives that caught my eye were this trinity, this sacred trinity. And it was curious because before I knew this term of trinity, I saw them and I immediately connected with them. And I connected with them, let me put them like this. First, I connected with the Hinderer. I saw the XM18 and I fell in love with the thing, and I thought, man, I have to have one of those. I don't know how, but at some point I'm gonna have to have one of those. And then came across my eye the Strider and fell in love with the aesthetics, and in the end was the Sebenza. And in the very end, this GEC, I don't remember the model, but it's the Rodwood. But let's stick to the Trinity. Buying the Trinity was an odyssey, and that's what a grail for me it represents. It's an odyssey, it's an adventure, and an adventure that you're going to enter in contact with people and with situations. So I got this, my grail. And I will say that this 3 and this 4 represent my grail as a trinity, a trilogy, and the extra or the backup. And so I got this this XM18 from Metal Complex long time ago, and this was the first one I was able to acquire. Man, was I jumping of happiness, but life threw at me a waiting period of a month and a year and 3 months or so for this thing to get here to my hands. So this one was the first one I was able to acquire, thanks to my buddy Metal Complex. Then the second one I was able to acquire, and this knife came with a gift, and that's a friendship, and that's my friend Clint. And that was the second one. And the third one was the Sebenza. The Sebenza was a bit, well, was the last one that I liked, and as they presented themselves in my life. And it was the first one I got. This one was the second one, and the second one I got. And this one was the first one I liked, and the last one I got. So it is a whole odyssey, this whole Trinity, and arriving to my grail. And then this Rodwood GEC, man, I love this thing. I was barely beginning to get into traditionals, and I still am. But when I heard the story of this wood, I fell in love with it, but it was too late. And then Destiny had it for me, and I got it from a great guy from Instagram, and I love this thing. So here is my grail, divided into 4 parts, but this is like the top of the mountain. And let me tell you that I went through a lot not only money, but as a Mexican, and this was shown to me because I did not think that I never thought that would happen. But you know, I was in a few occasions, well, many times, I was discriminated trying to buy the Hinderer and the Strider with comments such as what would a Mexican do with such a nice knife like that? And you know, I think the harshest one was, and this was very close to closing the deal on both of them. And but you know, the harshest comment I got was, I wouldn't sell shit to a Mexican. And once they learned I was Mexican, and man, it just what can I say? It's bothersome. And it got to a point where I was about to give up, especially with these two. Destiny had it that I didn't give up, and the grail came through, and here it is. So it took a lot of effort and to resist and just be patient and a whole lot of things. So it really means a whole lot that this for blades. And I know you guys have it hard, especially in out of the world, but in the US you complain about availability and how hard it is, and I totally get it and understand. But really, for anyone outside the US, and particularly here in Mexico, it's 3, 4, 5 times as harder. I mean, it really is. So, but this is the top of the mountain, and I'd like to show you how it all began. And this began with my journey in collecting. And like I said, it's very difficult to get good stuff here in Mexico. And the first time I saw this Boker Kalashnikov with a copper finish and a clip point, this was sold in something like eBay here in Mexico, and it's a pretty bad place because the prices are just inflated so much. So I ended up paying like 3 times for this knife, 3 times its price. But you know what? I love the thing, and it's been used pretty much, and it's scratched because I was learning how to take care of them, and I made the mistake to wash it with a fiber that was not adequate, so it has a little bit of scratching. But even that, I love this thing, and every time I'm going to reduce my collection, you know, this just makes it out of the cut. So love the Boker Kalashnikov, especially this with this copper finish and the clip point. So it was difficult to get and very, very expensive. The next one, I think it was this one. This is not a very common blade. I think the brand is Blade Tech, and I think the name is Pro Hunter. It's designed by Tim Wegner, and hope I'm pronouncing it right. And I love this thing, but this thing I saw from Virtua Vice, the channel Virtua Vice, a Japanese doctor, Hunter, who has a wonderful collection of knives, fixed blade knives, and I saw this blade. He had this folder in his collection, and I fell in love with it. And I started looking and searching for it until I got to find out the name and the brand. And immediately I went and got it from Amazon. They had it there, Amazon Mexico. But the thing is, it came with a lot of really bad mistakes. The first one, the steel was a little bit bent. The second one had such a bad lock stick, I could not, had to use a small screwdriver or pry bar to unlock it. And I don't remember what other errors it had. But this one, the first time I opened it, it cut my thumb because this was the thumb hole was so sharp that it cut my thumb, and had to change the clip because it just broke. It was I don't know if it was a kind of aluminum but not steel, and again it had lock stick, and it was just a big mess. But this was I don't remember if it was the third or fourth, but I decided to keep it. I decided to fix it and keep it, and I reshaped the edge, and I fixed the lock stick, and I changed the clip for an Emerson, and man, I love this thing. And I had the sense that if I returned it to Amazon, because they were going to refund as they usually do, I wasn't gonna be able to get it again. And that sixth sense was right, because the day after they disappeared from Amazon, and I haven't seen them since. And it's a fantastic folder. I love it. It's a S30V, and just look at the stock on this thing. I think it's the same stock or almost the same as the XM18. And with the reshaping of the edge, I can shave with this thing. And I mean it. I have shaved twice with this thing. And I love this thing to death. So this one always makes it out of the cut when I'm about to reduce my collection. And this became a kind of a grail because of all of this. So I'm talking about the path, the odyssey of it. Another great one, well, is in this configuration, the rat number 1, tan and in D2. I had 2 other rats in OS 8, but these weren't sold in Mexico, and I was able to buy them in the States and get them to a family member, and then when they came to Mexico, they brought them, and it was not only this one, but the 940, the Osborne 940 Benchmade as well. I love this thing. I wanted it in the other configuration, the whole. I keep on forgetting, man. But they only had this configuration with serrations, and I have always liked serrations and used them, and so I got it, and it was a big. It was a good decision because I love it with serrations. And these two were kind of grails, and they were very difficult to get. And to get to Mexico, that's very, very important. And then I have to go into this one because everyone has a difficult time getting one of these knives, and these knives are just fantastic. The Adams, TRM Adams, love them to pieces, and the company is fantastic. The people are fantastic, and thank you, Marianne, because you have a wonderful company and employees. And this was just, it took 3.5 months to get here. We thought we had lost the knives, and they just told me they refunded me that money, and they let me keep the knife. And it's a fantastic knife, and it took forever, and we had lost them. Not did we think we had lost them, we lost them because I went into the office, the mail office, and knowing my mailman that has been delivering for years, we got together and started searching and investigating about what had happened and all. And this was kept by another employee of the mail office, and he was trying to wait for this to pass too much time and keep it. And so that person got fired, but in the end I was able to recover this beautiful and with a fantastic quality knife. So it is, that knife ain't going nowhere. And same as this one, the A100, Emerson A100. This is the super version. I originally wanted and want the A100 normal size, but I came across a wonderful person who's now a friend of mine, and who gave me the opportunity to get this knife. And that's the most important thing, I think, when we talk about a grail. It's about people. It's about the odyssey, the adventure. Sometimes it comes through, sometimes it doesn't. But what I get from all of this is, in case I may lose any of these, or the 3 of them by any circumstance, or the 4 of them, I have the self-assurance that I know I would be able to get all 3 of them again. And that has been my grail adventure. So what makes it a grail, Big Red? The adventure, the people I met and that have become friends, and that certainty, that security in myself, that even though I may go through puddles of mud, I may fall, I know I can get up and get one of these wonderful pieces, or any other ones again. Well, that's it, guys. Took me long enough, but I hope you enjoy it. Professor EDC out. Have a nice one.